Hello, hello, hello. Oh, goodness, I've got internet problems. Why is it that every time I go live, it tells me I have a slow connection? What is with that? Anyway, hello, everybody. Evening, it's Monday evening for me. I'm in Melbourne, so it's Melbourne Eastern Australian, what is it, 7, I think it is, just after 7 p.m. So good evening to those of us on this side of the world, and almost good morning to those of you on the other side of the world. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. This is day 1 of 4 for my prep for the 30-day challenge that I have committed myself to starting on Friday, 28th of June, 1 p.m. And I wonder what the hell I've done with biting off more than I can chew, right? I set down this challenge. I didn't really think it through. I went on the fly and decided, bugger it, I'm just going to go all in. So committed to the 30-day challenge, committed to coming on for the 4-day live, and caught up with Angela this morning and went, oh, by the way, I just committed us to this. And she's like, you did what now, Trace? And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? So what does all that mean? What all that means is that I'm going to share with you how I'm preparing for the 30-day challenge that I'm going to do live, and the really cool stuff that Angela and I have come up with in a really short period of time that we're going to share with you, and how we're going to do it. And I'm going to share a framework with you today on how I went through the process of deciding what I was going to do in the 30-day challenge and what it was going to look like, why I'm doing it, hopefully you'll get something from that. I just want to say straight off the cuff, I do have some notes. I've written some hand notes out today that I'm sharing. However, I don't have a script. So whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. It's how I roll. And I've been very much encouraged by some mentors recently to just go with it. So that's what I'm doing. Just going to go with it. So the framework that I'd like to go through today is the word focus. F-O-C-U-S. And I'm going to go through each one of what the letters mean and how I have applied them with what we're doing with the 30-day challenge. So, again, that's the word focus, F-O-C-U-S. And the first one is basically finding our goals. So, in the last 24 hours, I've completely and utterly shifted the trajectory of our business and what we're focusing on and how we're focusing. And we needed to work out what our goals were this morning. So I called a very quick last minute meeting. We were really lucky, Ange and my times connected, and we were able to create a 90-minute window where, I shared with her why I'm doing this, what I'm doing, what I hope to get with it. And she was like, girl, man, let's do this, right? And we're all on board and we're all in, and it's so super exciting. So we sat down and we went through and decided to find out, well, what are the goals is this 30-day challenge? What am I hoping to achieve by doing this? And we came up with the fact that we just want to be real. Okay, so we just want to show you exactly what it takes to build a business from home. Obviously, my example and our example is going to be Inner Phoenix AI, our digital marketing agency. But I can promise you that we're not ready for clients, okay? We're not ready to take on anybody's marketing yet, or in terms of scheduling marketing or handling any marketing campaigns with email, building websites just at the moment, not quite. We're almost there, hosting, all those things. They're all coming. And I said to Ange, I really want everybody to see just what we have to go through, right? Exactly what it takes, step by step, the upskill areas you need to upskill in order to run your business online. And she was like, yes. I was like, okay, let's schedule a meeting. She's like, yes, let's do that. Okay, great. I'm currently using 3 different calendars. She goes, what? I go, I'm using 3 different calendars. I'm using the Samsung calendar on my phone. I'm using the Microsoft calendar when I'm in that for the work email, and I'm using the Google calendar for my personal stuff. And then it's all getting a little bit lost, because depending on which email address I use to log in depends on which one slots into the calendar. And so she was like, okay, well, before you start the 30-day challenge, I'll run you through how we get that sorted. And I went, no, let's share how we sort that. She's like, yeah, let me show you how we do that. Because the good thing about being in partnership at the moment with Ange is that we have skill sets that complement each other. And she's able to help me with my tech gaps, and I'm able to help her with her tech gaps, because I don't have it all down yet. I don't, I tell you that I've turned my weakness into a weapon, and that weapon is still in development. I don't actually know how it's going to come out at the other end, right? So we sat down and decided to work out exactly what we wanted from this 30-day challenge. And at the end of it, we just want to show you 30 days of what it's like day in, day out of running your business. And I'm going to share with you exactly where I'm at with my website. Go check it out, www.innerphoenixai.com. It's live. I'm so excited that it's been live for a couple of weeks, and it is so incredibly clunky and not organised, and I realised I've missed editing some bits, and it's really, it's almost embarrassing. If I wasn't so proud of myself for the fact that I've got myself a website, I'm up until sort of today, I sort of didn't want to shout it from the rooftops, because it wasn't perfect, right? It wasn't perfect. In fact, it is so far from perfect, I shouldn't actually have it published, but we decided that we wanted to show you what it looks like today on the 24th of June, 2024. And then as you follow us through over the next few weeks, how we go in, excuse me, and look at changing and editing as we develop our skill set on the new platform that we're hosting the website through. So with the focus framework, we found our goals. We worked out exactly what we wanted to do over the next 3 days. But then we needed to move on to the O, which was the organising of the tasks. So we have to now sit down and work out exactly which tasks we need to work on in order to move the business forward. Which tasks do we need to have listed? Let's put them all. So we did a brain dump of all the tasks that are involved with all the different aspects that we want to do. Okay, because it's not just the 30-day challenge that we've got going on. We've got other projects in the works as well. We've got other things that are being put together in different areas. So we listed all the tasks that we need to do in order to do the reshuffle to prioritise this 30-day challenge. And then we organise them individually, and we're going to get back together in the next 12 hours so that she will have her tasks organised, I'll have my tasks organised, and we'll combine our tasks together and work out who's going to do which bit. Which leads me to the C of the focus, and that is committing time blocks to do the tasks you've organised when you found the goal. I hope that makes sense. Commit to time blocks. The only way I have moved forward in the last 3 weeks has been to assign block times, and it equates to around about 10 hours a week, up to 16, depending on my calendar, which will soon be synced, and you're going to get to see how we sync it, which I'm really excited to share with you, to specific needle moving activities. And at the beginning of the week, so on a Sunday, I sit down and I look at my week, I work out where I can assign my 2 or 3 hour blocks throughout that next 7-day period, and then I assign specific tasks to be focused on during that block time. If I didn't, the book that I am writing and editing would never progress forward. If I didn't, the other projects that I'm working on would not move forward. If I didn't have the block time allocated to a specific task and commit to that block time and commit to that task that I've allocated, none of it would move forward. I actually would have no clarity. I wouldn't really know which bit to focus on first. right? That's where you get that overwhelm, because you don't have the clarity. And you also, I found, by using the time blocks and allocating a task that you want to work on during that block time, means that you've got a deadline. You've got 2 hours to work on this one specific task. And us as humans, we like that. It's competitive. Oh, I've got a time limit. I need to fit as much and cram as much as I can into this very small bit of time that I have. And it really gets you moving, and it really gets you focused. So I really encourage you to start using block time, because it's been very rewarding for me. Now, it's not going to work for everybody, but block time works for me. And if you haven't tried it, try it. But you've got to try it for 4 weeks, okay? I tried it months and months and months ago. I'd implemented it and it was working really well. Then the surgery came along and boom, bang, all my routines went out the window. It's come back in again in the last 3 weeks. And my productivity, despite the fact that I don't necessarily feel like I'm hugely progressing, when I look back on where I am now, say in my book editing, where I am today compared to where I was 3 weeks ago, I've actually really moved it forward. I've now only got a few more chapters I have to finish the first edit on. And if I hadn't allocated the block time to work on my book, then I wouldn't be moving it forward. I would just be focusing on whatever it was that was jumping up. There'd be chaos. So I'm committing the time blocks to work on the 30-day challenge, both the prep, the content, the topics, how finessing my public speaking, talking to absolutely nobody that's engaged. It's really weird, and just going on it anyway, because it's just about keeping it real. It doesn't really matter if nobody watches this, because this is really good practice for me. The U of focus is to utilize our resources. And this is really important when we're running our own business, because if we don't realize where we can get additional resources when we need them, then we're going to be in trouble. No one, I've heard this, it's funny, I've heard this one thing said about 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks, and it's really hitting home, because obviously it's being repeated in so much. It's like, okay, this is something I have to pay attention to. No one person on the planet is self-made in any way, shape or form. If they are a millionaire, if they're a successful rock star, if they are successful in any of their fields, they didn't do it alone, solely and truly. And if they did say that they did it alone, I made myself what I am all by myself, then I call bullshit on that, because you need a support network. You need to have people beside you. You need to have people helping you at all times, right? And we have to have a support network that helps us with our visions, because they're not going to see our visions. So there's a lot of people that may say that they're self-made, and yes, they put in the discipline. Yes, they did the hard work. Yes, it's their name that we know. We know that. But behind every famous name, and especially those that have sustained that success in their area or their field over a long period of time, will tell you and contribute their individual success to the support network behind them. Now, I can rattle off, I love my Formula One and my MotoGP. I love my, high adrenaline, over 300 kilometre an hour sports. So if we have a look at, the Formula One, for instance, and if you have a look at household names such as Lewis Hamilton, an incredible career. Every time he gets onto the podium, every time he is interviewed, every time he is out there as Lewis Hamilton, he will always say we, because it is a team. And he will acknowledge the team behind him and acknowledge the commitment of the team behind him, because he's very much aware that he wouldn't be able to be in that driver's seat driving that Formula One car if he didn't have the resources and the support network behind him. Okay, so we need to make sure we utilize our resources. So I've gone to Angela and gone, okay, crap, I've committed myself to this, which means we've committed to this, and oops, I'm going to need some help. And she's like, cool, let's get down and do it. And that's about utilizing the resources. It's also about the fact that I could have come up with a myriad of excuses for not coming live today. And it was like, no, I have to follow through. I have to follow through, right? It's about progress. It's not about perfection. And just finishing off the framework of focus. So we've got F, finding our goals. What are we aiming for? Organising the tasks, committing our time blocks, utilising our resources. And the last S, self-reflection. My good old buddy self-reflection, journaling, having a conversation with your teammate, your spouse, your whoever it is that's involved in the decision-making or the moving or the whatever of the project. Get some self-reflection around what you're wanting to chase, what your goal is. And that's what this framework, that's why I've used this framework, because this is how I've approached reshuffling all of the priorities we had for the business, and changing them to focus on the 30-day challenge and pivoting to be able to go, okay, well, this wasn't even on the radar 48 hours ago. It's now a huge opportunity that I've created. And Ange and I are like, let's go. And I used the focus framework today whilst I was on the train to sit down and go, okay, we have a new goal. We have a new project, and what are our goals of this project? And I used the focus framework to be able to nail down exactly what we need to do over the next 5 weeks as we roll this out. The other important part of the S, along with the self-reflection, is the adjustments you need to make along the way when you're in the activity or the challenge or the speech or whatever it is that you happen to be working with. I just fiddled with my headphones and touched them. Now I don't know if my headphones are working or if I've actually gone back to the phone, but that's okay. Every single thing that we do is an experiment. All right, we need to get some feedback, and we then need to adjust and do the experiment again. All right, so it's tweaking, it's self-reflection, it's having a look at, okay, well, how did I perform when I was last under this kind of pressure? Because there's your barometer, right? There's your guide of how you're going to perform if you're completely and utterly throwing the cards up in the air and going, okay, I'm starting from scratch, or I'm just throwing in this new challenge, or I'm completely changing and I've decided I want to become a coach, a consultant, I want to help my community start a non-profit, whatever it is that you are desiring to do, it's going to require a change in what you're doing every day. And so I encourage you to use the focus framework to help you work out what it is you need to focus on in order to move that project forward. I really hope that makes sense. I know that I've had a number of people reach out via Messenger. Thank you. You know who you are. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. I'm probably going to get all emotional now, but I just hope you know how much your messages mean to me. And it encourages me to get on here live and have not a single person. Okay. And that's the bit about the practicing and learning to just sit with the uncomfortable bit of I'm growing. I would like to do some motivational speaking down the track. And I need to get used to this kind of communication, which is a very new part of communicating for me. That's wasn't around much prior to, 5 years ago. People that took photos of themselves 10 years ago were looked at weird, like, oh, take photos of yourself. And then the selfie became a fad, and it's a fad that's here. We all love it. Oh, quick selfie. And I do it to my daughter all the time. She's like, Mom, I don't want to be in the photo. Like, it's just for the family scrapbook, baby. I promise I won't post it. She's like, fine. And so I'll get the photo and it'll be in the background. So anyway, that's kids, isn't it? Because we look back at our photos. We look back at our photos when we grow up and we go, oh my God, I remember not wanting to have my photo taken in. I was in such a shitty mood in that photo. It's so funny. So anyway, I digress. Like I said at the beginning, my brain, it is on, I liken it to train tracks, because obviously I like traveling on our trains because that's how we get around and get up from our country to our city to do stuff. And my head is basically a very busy train station where there's tracks firing off. I have no doubt that if I investigated, there'd have to be some ADHD or ADD in there somewhere where I go ping, 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 oh, shiny toy. So you got to follow my brain, and those that groove around me for long enough go, I don't know, your brain's really weird, Trace. I'm like, yeah, I know. What can I say? It's just one of those quirky things where I go, yeah, I know, my brain's very weird. And I find extreme gratitude and pleasure in embarrassing my daughter in as much opportunity as I possibly can. And I say that knowing that she can hear this in the background, because we've come down to Melbourne together, but she is, not choosing to come on, that's her choice. But she can hear me. Obviously, and it's just those little things, and there you go. See, my brain's gone ping, 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 and now I've got to center and think, but that's why I'm doing this. Okay, that's why I am coming on here, and I am just talking to you like it is. I've kind of finished the lesson, right? I don't even know. I actually probably should know what the time is. Okay, so yeah, I've got a little bit more time. And I just want to speak to you from kind of my heart, and just let you know that, my journey over the past 51 years on the planet has been so incredibly rich of experience. And I have endured so many different challenges thrown my way on so many different levels. And the one thing I pride myself on is always getting back up again. And over the years, I'm enjoying the fact that I can get back up again, both literally and metaphorically, a hell of a lot quicker than whatever I used to be. Just as short as 3 or 4 years ago, I would have an unconscious fall during the day because of my hip, and that would be it. That would be my day, game, set and match. I was done after a fall. Now, obviously, I'm, now 6 years into the falls, and obviously they're part of my life. Those that are around me know how incredibly proud I am of my little girl for the way that she supports me when I fall. And I don't take that for granted. I get back up again because of her, for her, as a role model for her, and also to continue to prove to myself that I can bloody well get back up again, no matter what's thrown at me. It doesn't matter what it is, because everything that has been thrown at me so far in my life, I have survived. Haven't escaped necessarily, should we say, scar-free, not in any way, shape or form. I've got some doozies, inside and out. But I'm no longer letting things from the past stop me from creating a future that's incredibly enriching for both Charlotte and I. And all I really want to do is just show you how not to do it. And Ange and I are very much on the page of like, hey, let's just share our combined knowledge of a century on the planet, and let's help people never ever feel like what we did at different times through our journey of our life. And at the end of the day, I just want to encourage you to have a go. To have a go. Because if you sit there constantly saying, I can't, well, no, you won't. And I know you won't, because I used to say I can't, and I didn't. But the minute I changed that narrative, and I've got to tell you, I don't always get the narrative right. I do have to have reminders. I have people in my life that help me come back from the negative story when I head into it. My little girl picks me up all the time. Mum, don't speak to yourself like that. It's like, no, don't speak to yourself like that, Trace. And then I, in turn, get to pick her up when she does it. Why does she do it? Because she's role modelled me saying the most disgusting things about myself. I would never say it about another human being. But I felt it was acceptable to say that to myself, either in my head or I used to say it out loud. I believed some of the rubbish so much. So there we go. Like I said, my brain is like a train station. It goes ping, 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 ping. I wanted to get you the focus framework. I reckon it's a pretty cool one to be able to help you look at a project and see what you need to do and how you can actually get it done, right? It's not just to say, oh, one day. Well, I heard Tony Robbins recently say, what is it? The path one day leads to a place called nowhere. And I thought, yep. Someday means never. There is no right time. There is no right time to go live. You're never ready for children. You're never ready to launch your business. You're never ready to have your first client on board, even if you think you are, or you got your doors open. Even if you're 110% prepared for that first client to walk in the door or pick up that phone or take you up on your offer, you're not truly ready till they're on board. I just hope that you get some little bit of something from this that you can apply to your personal life or to your business. That means that you've shortcut my pain. By witnessing my pain, you've been able to shortcut having to experience it yourself. And really, as a society and as human beings, as a collective, I just wish we'd help each other a little bit more than what we do. And that's really what I want to do. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you for taking a moment out of your busy day to watch this little prep day. And I will go through tomorrow, how I've dialed in that little bit more. We've got lots on. We've got another train journey home again, so we've got another day of travel. But I will jump on here tomorrow night, same time, 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and share with you day 2 prep, and maybe share a little bit of what we have planned. And if you pop, I wish I could stop saying and cut it out, Trace. Everyone thinks you're crazy already. All right. On that note, everybody, wherever you are in the world, I hope you have had a magical Monday. I hope you've been kind to yourself. If the week hasn't started the way that it should, that's okay. Tomorrow's another day. We get to reset. We are so fortunate that we get to choose tomorrow how we live the day. So before I go, we're going to pick that one kind thing that we're going to do for our future self. We're going to do it now. We're going to commit to it now. We're going to pick one thing for our future self. And we're going to do one kind thing for somebody else's future self. All right? So we create that ripple effect of kindness. It's just that little bit of way of sharing a bit of love amongst each other. I hope wherever you are, around the planet, morning, night, evening, wherever. Mwah. Much love from my heart to yours. Have a terrific day. Be kind to you. Be gentle with you. Just take a breath when it all gets too much.
And just be you.
Okay? You got this. I know you've got this. And for those couple of special people that have reached out to me of like, oh my God, you're so brave and so this and so that. So are you. Okay? So are you. Because you reaching out to me to tell me means that you know that little fire, she's burning inside you. She's going to explode. Let's take off together. All right? So, much love. Wherever you are, have an awesome night. Bye for now. Oh, and tech, I can't, I've got a slow internet connection. I can't, you're stuck with me because I can't, oh, there we go. Now I can hit the finish button. That's so funny. Bye, everyone.